Good morning, my friends. I hope you're doing well on this drizzly, dreary Saturday morning we have here in the UK. Yesterday we stopped and killed a bunch of racists. Hooray! Let's continue. We have a job to do in the sewers today. We need to talk to Amsel. We need to raise a load of money. Let's talk to some people first. Blitz's eyes widen when he sees the drone that you're carrying. He looks anxious. Oh, hey Chief, how's it going? I found this drone at that hotel vault. Does it belong to you? Yeah Chief, that's mine. I didn't want to say anything at the time, since it was my idea to have you loot the vault in the first place. What was it doing in there? It's my personal drone. Good to have something to hide behind when you're on a solo decking run, you know? Luster took it from me when she seized control of the Schwarzhasen. I'd been hoping to get it back ever since. I gotta say, Chief, it hurt me to see her all banged up to hell like she was. Looked like Luster had a few of her goons take turns on my baby with a baseball bat. But it looks like you got her up and running again. How'd you manage that? Mallet fixed your drone. She says that it won't listen to anyone but you, though. Score. So, can I have it back? Yeah. Blitz stubs at his cigarette to your approach. Wolf, I was hoping I'd see you. Do you have another run lined up for us yet? I'm strapped for cash. Don't worry. We're doing fine on the job front. Amsel's been working overtime. Oh, thank God. And thank you, Chief. Thanks Paul, too, come to think of it. Any thoughts about the last run? Never been a big fan of the polyclubs in general, let alone a bunch of swine like Humanis. How an idiot like Stahl could attract so many followers is beyond me. On the plus side, he's dead now, so that's good. He shrugs. I don't know, boss. If you were hoping for something more profound, I'd talk to one of the others. Just checking in. Money problems aside, you doing okay? Not too bad, Chief. Not bad at all. It's downright cozy in here. This probably goes without saying, but it's also nice to have my skills appreciated by someone who isn't a drug-addled psychopath. Gang life was getting old. And why are you so strapped for cash? With all the work we've been doing, you should be rolling in million. What can I say, Chief? He tries on a thoroughly unconvincing smile, but immediately seems to think better of it. The anxious look returns to his face. I have expensive tastes. How expensive are we talking here? Even if you had a raging cram habit, I'd think you'd have at least some money left. Expensive. Truth be told, I'm in debt. To who? He hesitates before responding. When he does, his voice carries an edge of annoyance. No offense, but this is getting a little too personal, Chief. My debts are none of your business. If some bucky sends his thugs here looking for you, it's going to become my business, so talk. Blitz shakes his head in exasperation. Alright, fine. First off, you don't need to worry about anyone coming after me. My debts are to a bunch of old contacts. If I don't pay them, I'm going to lose them, and in this line of work, it isn't smart to burn bridges. Second, before you ask, those debts are for services rendered. I was in a tight spot, I needed some help, and I threw around a lot of IOUs to get it. Third, and finally, the trouble I was in involved a girl. Of course it did, Blitz. I'll tell you about it if you ask me to, but we're verging into personal feelings territory, so if you don't want to hear me sob over my ex-girlfriend, you'll drop the subject now. So it's up to you, Chief. You really want to go down this road, or shall we keep this relationship professional? You're clearly preoccupied with this. In our line of work, preoccupied can get you killed, so spit it out and we'll deal with it. Blitz meets your gaze for a moment, then looks away and sighs. Alright, where to begin? I met Emily in Dragonfall. She was the first person who was ever more important to me than myself. I was crazy about her, Chief. To this day, she's the only person I've ever met who could out-deck me, and the real kicker is that she wasn't even a decker by trade. There was nothing she wasn't good at. I like to dabble in rigging, but Emily, that girl could pick up anything she set her mind to. Sounds like a hell of a girl. She was. She just made things right. No matter how stupid I was, no matter what I got myself into, she made it right. I don't think much of many people, Chief. Emotional attachments aren't really my thing. Love seemed like a diluted word these days, so I won't waste it on Emily. Let's just say that she was important to me. And then I lost her. I didn't know what was happening, it came out of nowhere. One day she was just gone, along with most of my decking gear. The only explanation was a handwritten note on old-fashioned paper. Leave me alone. That was it. We'd been together for years, and that was all she left me. That and this beat-up old cyberdeck. Naturally, I freaked. We'd had our share of arguments, but we'd never had a huge blowout or anything. I couldn't think of anything that'd drive her to do a thing like that. Mostly, I felt hurt, so I searched for her, in the real world and in the Matrix. And when that turned up nothing, I started tapping my contacts, and that was when I started racking up debt. And did you find her? No, she's gone, Wolf, without a trace. I looked high, I looked low, I poked into everything I could think of, and my contacts did the same. He shakes his head. She's gone, Chief. At this point, I've accepted that, but I still have to repay those debts. I'm surprised that you've given up so easily. There must be some place you haven't looked. He blinks. I don't know, Wolf. I really did look everywhere, at a great personal cost. If she means that much to you, you owe it to yourself to try. Yeah, you might be right. He shakes his head. Fuck, I thought I was done with this, but you're right. Without some kind of closure, I'm never going to be at peace with this. Thanks for the talk, Chief. I'll let you know how it goes. Please don't. You do that, Blitz. Good work. Funny. Anything else? Nope. Hey, buddy. You look down and see a pair of bright eyes set into a scruffy face. Blah, 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 blah. I will pet you. Oh, I can watch DVDs. What was the watch me? That was the one. Oh, that was the one I already did. Load the second DVD. Oh, is this the one I already did? Where did this second DVD come from? Did I just miss it? Look at how cool my guy looks. Holy shit. Such a badass. The soft whir of the spinning DVD is punctuated by an occasional rattling sound. The scratched LCD display comes to life, and a menu fills the screen. Screen goes black, Green Winters appears. Timestamp of the video reads 2054-11-11. Alright, as I said in my last recording, I've been having trouble finding hard facts on Fürschwing, so I thought I'd open things up a bit. Let's see what the rumour mill has to say. The screen jumps and Winters reappears in a different location. He's now clutching a mug of soy calf in both hands, and there are bags under his eyes. Well, that was enlightening. Assuming that any of it was true, that is. So for the past 5 hours, I've been poking around some of the crazier fringe theories related to dragons and the SOX. As a reminder, the SOX is an irradiated wasteland between France and Germany. It got zoned off back in 2008 after the Cattenom GAU reactor meltdown. Anyway, there are all kinds of rumours floating around about the place. I've heard stories about a walled city in there that operates on a survival of the fittest, kill or be killed basis, sort of like a nightmare inversion of Berlin. All of the anarchy but none of the stability that the F-state provides. The radiation poisoning, cancer and mana pollution are just the icing on the cake. So when Adrian helped the Luftwaffe shoot Fürschwing down, she crashed into the SOX. That much is well known. What isn't as well known are all of the modern day myths that have arisen about her since, and tonight I've heard an earful. I chatted up a girl who claimed to be a ghost rat. That's a smuggler that operates in the SOX. She told me about a dragon cult called the Disciples of the Cleaning Fire. Apparently, these cultists worship some sort of radioactive ghost dragon. Could be Fürschwing, or it could be nothing, but it's worth digging into all the same. Another thing that my little ghost rat told me. The popular rumour in the SOX is that Fürschwing's astral form was, I guess you'd say, mutated by all of that background radiation. Some of the glowpunks out there say that she's shed her body like an old coat. Others say that she's trapped, doomed to languish as an intangible radioactive ghost. I don't know how much credence to give any of this. After all, I don't have any proof that my ghost rat is even a ghost rat. She might be, but then she could also be a run-of-the-mill glowpunk. Or maybe she's just yanking my chain and she's never even been into the SOX. Who knows? Well, it's food for thought anyway. I don't know whether the thought of some radioactive ghost dragon thing is any scarier than a genuine dragon is, but it's interesting all the same. Now the big question is, will any of this get me any closer to finding Adrian? I'm going to go out on a limb and say no, but you never can tell. The timestamp is 2054-11-12. Alright, let's continue thinking outside the box. After the Dragonfall, the great dragon Kaltenstein came flying into the SOX to rescue the Firewing, but he was driven off, some say killed, by Wolfulv and Nebelher. So, what if there's another dragon involved in all of this? Winters grabs a thick, leather-bound tome from a shelf behind him, licks a finger, and begins to leaf through it. Alright, so let's run down the list of major dragons that could be helping her. First, there's the Golden Worm, Wolfulv, the CEO of Seda Krupp, and quite possibly the single most dangerous being on Earth. Wolfulv is a local boy, so he'd be in a position to help Fürschwing. He certainly has the financial capability to help her. He could send a small army into the SOX if he wanted to. So he's definitely got the means. But I can't see how he'd have the motive. He actively prevented the Firewing's rescue back in 2012 after all. Same thing is true for Nebelher, so let's scratch both of them off the list. He flips a page, frowning. Then we've got Aiden, the great Sirush. He's operating out of Turkey. By all accounts, he's not a fan of Wolfulv. They're actively competing for territory in the Middle East, so I suppose that could be considered motive. Reviving the Firewing might cause problems for the Golden Worm. But would he risk a war with Seda Krupp by straying into Wolfulv territory? Again, I don't think it's likely. He turns another page. There's Seladir, out in Wales. He's pretty heavily invested in Transys Neuronet, so he's got the money, but he's too busy dealing with the BTL killer scandal that Transys is going through out in London to get his claws dirty in the SOX. Flip. Dunkelzahn, out in the UCAS. He pauses, shakes his head, then slams the tome shut. No, this is a waste of time. The more I think about it, the more convinced I am. The Firewing is acting alone. Dragons don't cooperate unless they absolutely have to. After all, why bother making nice with your equals when you've got an entire planet full of pawns at your disposal? They don't need to work together, they have us to exploit. While this track does load, it's clearly corrupted. The screen fills with meaningless streams of text. Is it meaningless, huh? Is it? Is there a code here, huh? The file is partially garbled. You can recognize a few words here and there, but they're interspersed amid a solid block of corrupted text. Vauclair Anne, still my big brr, still searching for Iowing, will swear to Leon. If it's the last ch, will swear to new research. Don't know who. File is corrupted. Meaningless assortment of ASCII characters. The screen goes black, and the same digital chime that you heard on the Dragonfall DVD plays again. A crackle of static fills the air, followed by that same now familiar electronic whine. A few minutes later, the display goes live. Vauclair looks haggard. His eyes are heavily bagged and bloodshot. His hair is mussed. He holds a cigarette in an unsteady hand. Hermy, it's me. I can't sleep. I don't know where you are. Out having fun, no doubt. Maybe flirting with one of those unattainable beauties that you're always chasing. He tries on a smile, but it quickly disappears. He takes a drag on his cigarette. That's good. I want you to live a pleasant, normal life. After all, One of us should. Vauclair rubs his eyes. I can still smell the smoke, Hermie. It's almost a year later, and I can still taste the stench of burning corpses. When I sleep, I can hear the sirens and the screams. There is no sound in this world as horrible as a burn victim's screams. The doctor would call this PTSD, I'm sure. They'd have me in therapy, maybe dose me up on SSRIs, like they do to our veteran soldiers. He chuckles, then takes another drag. Quite a story for the tabloids. The great dragon slayer, Adrian Vauclair, mentally incapable of wrestling with his own demons. He shakes his head. No therapy for me, and certainly no medication. I have a reputation to live up to, however poorly deserved it is, and however little I want it. He pauses, stubs out his cigarette. The dragon is still alive, Hermie. Of that, I'm certain. One day I'll find her, and then perhaps I'll be able to sleep through the night. Okay. That was interesting. I don't know where we got that DVD from either. Hello, Dietrich. How are you? You really came through for me, boss. You ever need anything from me, anything at all, then you call on me. I'll come running. How is Alexander holding up? He's a good kid, that nephew of mine. Give him some time and he'll shake Star's programming. It might take a while, but he'll adjust to life here in the Cruise Bazaar. In the meantime, I found a good home for him. Sam's agreed to take him in. Is that wise? Samuel's employees have no love for Humanus. Most of them don't even like humans. Best thing for the kid will be to learn through immersion. If he stays with Samuel's group, he'll have no choice but to interact with metahumans. Soon enough, he'll learn that they're no different than anyone else. First few days will be rough, no question. But he'll make it through, and come out the other side a better man for it. You've done your part. It's on him now, one way or the other. He nods grimly. Yeah, that's right, it is. And when push comes to shove, he'll do the right thing, just like he did with Star. Now, on to other things. Remember what I was telling you, back before we climbed into the van? Yeah, you were saying that the Dragon Slayer was happy, and you'd been given a reward. That's right. Thanks to our, let's not mince words, heroic actions back in that swine pit, the Dragon Slayer seemed fit to grant me his favour. His grin widens. And now I know what that means, and what I can do with it. Well? He gestures at the ground near his feet. This. As you watch, the spot that Dietrich is pointing at begins to glow. Lines of force spread out in a scintillating web, and a feeling of raw power suffuses your body. I've just torn open a channel between myself and the Dragon Slayer. That power that you feel is his power, pouring through the ether and into that spot. If you're familiar with ley lines, it's the same basic concept. A consecrated patch of ground, and as long as I stand in that spot, all of my magic gets stronger. He crosses his arms over his chest. Not bad, huh? What about another Major Shaman? Could someone else benefit from one of these channels too? He shrugs. I don't see why not. Like I said, it's basically a ley line. As long as you're on the Dragon Slayer's good side, I don't see why you couldn't use it. My idol, he isn't stingy with his gifts. Anyway, boss, I wanted to keep fiddling with this, learning to properly control it, and I'm sure that you've got things to do as well. You take care of whatever else needs doing, and by our next run, I'll be ready to use this. Good. Dietrich greets you with his familiar wry smile. Wolf, what's new? Last run. We hit Humanus hard. We stopped him in their tracks, and we got my nephew out of there. Fucking great work in there, boss. We even dropped that pig Stahl, the perfect end to a perfect run. Again, boss, great work. Why did you switch from fronting a band to running the Shadows? Honestly, working the stage was getting boring, boss. Spitting and screaming at the world was fine and good when I was a kid, but it just didn't do it for me anymore. The Dragon Slayer wanted me to fight a real enemy, so I left the band and I turned to the Shadows. He shrugs. I don't know. I guess I figured that'd be the best way to find one. Considering current events, I'd say that you're not wrong about that. Yeah, I guess not. Feels kind of daunting, truth be told, but it's exciting all the same. I've been looking for a worthy adversary for a while now. It's kind of satisfying having a white whale to chase. How long have you been looking for a real enemy? Not too long. ever since I took down the last one. The last one? Of course. I might be able to sit around feeling pleased with myself if I followed the Creator or the Moon Maiden, but the Dragon Slayer ain't that kind of idol. If I'm not drinking, I'm fighting, and if I'm not doing either of those things, I'm looking for a bigger, better fight to get in next time. Dietrich produces a flask from his jacket pocket and raises it in salute. It's a remarkably simple code to live by. Who was this last one? Gang boss, a great big orcish bastard called the Wildschwein, led the local chapter of the Horde. The Horde! For the Horde! I'd had my sights on him for a while. They hurt a lot of people, and I figured they'd pose a challenge. I wasn't wrong about that, but I took him out in the end. When does this pattern end? Well, boss, the way I figure it, it'll end when I pick a fight I can't win. He smiles sadly. Might be this one, maybe the next one. It'll be hard to top a great dragon. That is true. But that's the way the Dragon Slayer wants it, and who am I to refuse him? Abruptly, he turns away. That's enough talk for today, boss. Besides, you've got other things to do, I'm sure. Why, thank you, Dietrich. As you approach, Iga turns to face you. Her rifle has been field stripped and is lying in pieces on a sheet of butcher paper. Arranged in a neat row along the edge of the paper are bottles of copper solvent, bore cleaner, and lighter fluid. Our fearless leader returns. What do you need? Last run? After all of the moral ambiguity that we've been wading through, hitting Humanus was incredibly satisfying. What they had planned, it makes my blood boil just thinking about it. The thought of Star lying dead on the ground brings a smile to my face. I hope that he enjoys rotting in hell. Are we good now, Iga? Depends on what you mean when you say good. I won't question your competence again, not in front of the others at least, but I'm not going to lie, I still have concerns about you, Wolf. What kind of concerns? Basic ones. I don't want to see history repeat itself. Make up your mind, Iga. You said you don't blame me for Monica's death. I don't. That's not the history I was talking about. And before you ask, no, I don't feel like going into it. So, was there something else you wanted to talk about, or can I get back to cleaning my rifle? I'd like to hear about your time in the KSK. She shakes her head. No, I'm not in the habit of sharing war stories, Wolf. Not with people who have never served. Doesn't have to be a war story, I just want a better idea of who I'm running with. She looks you in the eye for a moment, evaluating. Finally, she shrugs. Alright, Wolf, you win. I owe everything to my time in the KSK. From my street name on down. So, you tell me what you want to know, and we'll see where this goes. Tell me how you got your street name. Back when I was in basic training, a fellow recruit made a vulgar joke at my expense. He said that I reminded him of the north face of the Eiger in the Bernese Alps, huge and beautiful but dangerous to climb. His tone left little doubt as to what sort of climbing he had in mind. I think that he was trying to proposition me in his clumsy way, poking me in front of the other recruits to try to provoke a reaction. She shrugs. Anyway, he got one. I broke 3 of his ribs and the name stuck. Remind me not to proposition you. A frown crosses her face. Either you're trying to be cute or you've completely missed the point. Neither would surprise me. I didn't break his ribs because he propositioned me, Wolf. I'm not a goddamn savage. I put that recruit down because he demeaned me, and he did it in front of our peers. I'll cry you a river. You overreacted, Iga. No, I didn't. I did what was necessary given the situation. If you can't see that, you're even more clueless than I thought. One way or another, I was getting saddened with the name Iga. I was getting saddled with the name Iga. As soon as that idiot made his little joke, it was a foregone conclusion. My only choice in the matter was whether it happened under my term, his terms or under mine. If I hadn't broken that twat's ribs, the name Iga would have meant a difficult sexual conquest to a whole barracks full of recruits. That's what I would have been to them from that point on. Thanks to what I did, my new name meant the troll who doesn't take shit from anyone instead. Tell me, Wolf, which would you rather be? I would not give a shit. Then you're a fool. Out in the field, nothing will kill you faster than losing the respect of your team. I'd remember that if I were you. She pauses for a moment. By the way, Wolf, I'm aware this is more than a little ironic for me to be telling you this. After Monica's death, if you were the one who was dressing me down in front of Amsel and the rest, well, anyway, I don't want to dwell on it. I just want to say that I'm sorry for putting you in that position. She straightens, clears her throat. Anyway, you need anything else? Tell me about your team. Fair enough, I guess you've earned it. There were 8 of us, 2 commando squads working together as a single unit. Schmidt and Lang were combat deckers. Wolf, me, was our rigger and combat engineer. Fischer handled demolitions, Braun was a medic, and the rest of us, Metzger, Kruger and myself, were weapons experts. Our mission was extraterritorial, technically illegal, but important enough to justify the risk. We'd been sent across the border to Poland. The Russian mafia had set up a cottage industry in human trafficking all along the Oder-Neisse line, and it was our job to disrupt it. That sounds more like a police action than a military operation. Wouldn't the GSG usually handle that kind of thing? Typically yes, but in recent years the Russian mob had become more and more heavily militarized. The brass decided that they posed enough danger to the region to qualify as a terrorist threat, and that brought them under our purview. Anyway, we were a good team, experienced, we went through a lot together, and we chalked up a lot of kills. In our own way, I'd like to think that we did some good. Who was in command? Metzger, best leader I've ever had the pleasure of serving under. Her face clouds. He was a hell of a man. But he went down with the rest of the team, everyone but me. What happened? No, that's one story I won't be telling. They died, that's all you need to know. Okay. Sure thing, fearless leader. Was that it? I'm sure there were other questions. Okay, fine, fuck you. For the first time since you met her, Glory's expression seems to brighten. It's subtle, but it's there, you're sure of it. Wolf, a pleasure as always. Need anything from me? Any thoughts on that last run? I have no strong feelings about the run one way or the other. Humanus is, of course, a horrible organisation, but then so is every other target we've run against. To say that they deserved it would be redundant. She pauses for a moment to consider. That said, I'll admit that I do enjoy a certain sense of satisfaction thinking about Stahl's head breaking apart, so there's that. If I didn't know any better, I think you were warming up to me. She studies your face for a moment before responding. I suppose that you might say that. I don't talk to many people, Wolf. It just doesn't seem to be worth the effort. I don't really feel much anymore. Not since. She caresses the chrome of her forearm with a hand made of articulated steel. This. If that's true, why are you still talking to me? I suppose because you've shown an interest, and because you haven't let me push you away. She locks eyes with you. Her expression is blank. I don't want to mislead you, Wolf. I still don't feel anything, not warmth or friendship or even trust. But I can appreciate the effort you're making. It's something new and it's worthy of exploring. Fucking hell. Alright. You said that things went bad when you turned 14. I'd like to keep talking about that. She stares at you, her face expressionless. No, I'd rather not. Why? Because I don't see a reason to. The memories are unpleasant and dredging them up doesn't serve any real purpose. You're wrong about that. The last time we talked it had an impact on you. That's reason enough to continue. She pauses a moment to consider your words, a troubled look on her face. I suppose that's true. Feeling discomfort is better than feeling nothing at all. Alright, here's the deal, Wolf. I'm going to talk, you listen. When I'm done, I'm done. No complaints and no arguments, and we'll see what happens. Deal? Okie doke. Right. The 1,000-meter stare creeps back into Glory's eyes. A moment later, she's locked away in her own head again, reliving memories that she's long since filed away. So a few days after my 14th birthday, I began to express, magically. Judging from what I saw in your aura, your awakening must have been an incredible thing. It was actually fairly standard. The real power didn't come until later, but we'll get to that. There is another long pause and Glory becomes more animated. Anyway, I turned 14. I awakened. I don't even remember how my parents found out about it anymore. I think that my dad caught me playing with a tiny city spirit that I coaxed out of a pile of garbage, something like that. With everything that happened afterwards, those days are kind of a blur. What I do remember is my father's response to the revelation that his little girl was a witch, a hex. He beat the living shit out of me with his fists, and then his belt, and then a claw hammer that he grabbed out of his toolbox. All the while my mother was screaming and flailing at him. She took a couple of licks with the hammer too. I'd very much like to murder your father. It's a common sentiment, believe me, but I appreciate the thought. So finally, after what felt like an hour, Dad stopped tuning me up with the hammer. I had broken ribs, a busted arm, I couldn't see out of my left eye, and my entire right side was covered with one giant bruise. I was bleeding all over the place, making a real mess of the carpets. The old bastard spat on me, his bleeding, crying daughter. He spat on me and told me that I was des Teufelshuur, the devil's whore. Then he kicked me out of the house. As I was crawling away, my father told me that if he or any of his Kreuzritter brothers ever saw me again, they'd treat me as the Berlin chapter treats the enemies of God. If you're not familiar with how the Kreuzritters here in Berlin deal with heretics, it's decidedly less pretty than what my dad and his buddies did to their victims. I got the hint, and the next morning I hitched a ride out of Stuttgart. You were a human girl, presumably with an ID. Why didn't you go to a hospital? Oh, I did, but not in Stuttgart. If I went to a local hospital with the kind of injuries that Dad gave me, there'd be questions, and I couldn't afford to stay in town any longer than I had to. Even if my dad wound up getting arrested for beating me, the rest of the local Kreuzritters would have found me, and I'd have wound up skinned alive and thrown into the Neckar. I wound up in Tübingen. I figured it'd be safe enough place to find medical attention and maybe call home. It's not far from Stuttgart, but it has a huge student community that I figured I could blend into, and the university there had a decent magic department. My ride dropped me off at the university hospital, and they patched me up pretty good. Had some questions for me about how I got so beaten up, but I lied and told them that I'd been mugged, which played nicely into my complete lack of cash, credit, and ID. Glory pauses for a moment and looks down at the floor, then fixes her eyes on you. She's visibly tense. We're going to fast forward through the next few years. I was a kid on the street, I got by as best I could, doing whatever I had to. The rest we can leave up to your imagination. Good? Good. Good. Glory's clenched jaw relaxes somewhat and the tension drains out of her shoulders. Thanks. So anyway, I lived on the streets for a few years. Got used to being hungry all the time, got used to being rained on, got by. I was painfully aware that I had magical talents, but without any kind of training or guidance, I didn't really know how to use or develop them. Truth be told, they scared me, so I more or less ignored them. So it just sort of went that way, until a few days after my 17th birthday. Then I met Marta, and everything changed. Marta was a sweet girl. At first, I took her for a street kid. Like me, her clothes were a little ratty, and she seemed comfortable being near me. But she also looked well-fed and happy, and those were two things that I hadn't been in years. We started hanging out, and before I knew what was happening, I was in love. There was a genuine attraction between Marta and me. But I also think that a lot of my affection for her came from the fact that she was the first person in years to give a damn about me. She cared, and I loved her for that. Glory pauses. She looks flustered, her composure cracked. Keep going. She stares at you for a beat, then nods. A few ragged breaths later, she continues. Marta told me about a place where she'd been hanging out. She invited me to join her there. It was called Vuurstel, the fireplace, and it was a sort of commune for dispossessed youth. It turns out that a lot of the street kids I'd known over the years had moved there. The way that they disappeared, I'd assumed they'd been kidnapped or killed, or had gone back to their parents, but there they were. I remember being kind of angry about it, like, how did everyone get the memo about this but me? Marta calmed me down. She was good at helping me work through my feelings, and I wound up following her to Vuurstel. To a street kid, it was basically paradise. The owner, a guy named Harrow, had set up this little farm just outside Tübingen, in the Schonbuck forest. The Schonbuck is officially a nature park, but not many people go there nowadays. Too much fear of paranormal animals, I guess. Anyway, park or not, it was plenty big enough for us to hide in. It was also safe and pretty, and the farm was well stocked with food. Most importantly, Fuerstel gave us a sense of community and stability that we'd never had on the street, and we loved Harrow for that. He became like a surrogate father to us. Glory pauses again, and you recognize the distinctive flush in her cheeks. She seems to have come out of her reverie once again. That's enough for now. I need to process all of this, and I don't want to continue forward until I've had a chance to do that. I know that this all happened years ago, but I guess it's still pretty raw to me, so I'm going to ask you to give me some space for a while. She turns away, and the frost begins to creep back into her voice. We can pick it back up later. Can we? Yeah, we can. Okay. Okay, Glory. I don't mind. 2 new messages. Job. Hacked shipments. Metback, Gunari. If you value new hardware coming into the cruise bazaar, we need to talk. One of my weapons shipments was hijacked by a local gang. I can promise 500 new yen, and if you can recover the shipment, I'll have some new gear on the shelf. Come see me for the details. I would like to arrange a meeting between you and one of our representatives. You will find him at the cafe nearby. His name is Luca Duer. He will be expecting you. Come alone. Claim payment for the Humani. Nice. You submit the job as finished and await your client's response. A few moments later, a message pops onto the screen. Here is your payment as promised. Beckenbauer. A moment later, a second message pops into your inbox. Payment from client, 22,500. Deductions, 6,000. Ammunition, 1,500. Automatic deductions for Alice funds, 11,250. Remainder sent to Wolf Scout, 3,750. 11,250 for the Alice funds. Well, hot dog. Pending and active jobs. Read pending. Mark 6. Prototype extraction. Wolf. Here you will find the complete transcript of my conversation with Herr Schmidt, a potential client. As you will see, the details of the job are a bit more vague than I would like, but the payout is quite substantial. After reading the transcript, you may choose whether or not to accept the job. If you respond in the affirmative, our client will be notified and I will make all necessary preparations for the run. One other thing. Herr Schmidt provided me with a device to assist you on the run. He calls it a little black box. Apparently it can be used to compromise the power and security systems on the run site. If you opt to take the job, be sure to take it with you. Blue text field begins to scroll up from the bottom of the screen. Greetings, Herr Amsel. I trust that this connection is secure? Naturally. To who do I have the pleasure of speaking? Call me Herr Schmidt. Very well, Herr Schmidt. You have some business for me? Indeed, I have a job for your team. A simple matter, judging by what I've heard of your team. I imagine that they will be well suited to the task. Go on. The interests that I represent have learned that AG Chemi Europa is working on a company-wide project, something very secret, very new. Reliable sources inform me that they're keeping a working prototype of this new venture in their Berlin factory. I see. And your employer wished to acquire this prototype for them? Naturally. What is this project? If you want my team to grab the prototype for you, they'll need to know what they're looking for. I'm not at liberty to say. I can tell you that the prototype has been branded Mark 6. I can also tell you that your team will find it on the 25th floor of the Berlin facility in the office of one Albrecht Haustoffer. Further, I can assist your team in disabling building security and gaining access to the 24th floor. From there, however, they'll be on their own. Such vagueness can be dangerous, Herr Schmidt. I will not commit my team to a run without a better understanding of what the job entails. Facing such dangers is the purpose of a Shadowrunner, Herr Amsel. Your team will be rewarded handsomely for their services. My employers have set aside 20,000 Nuyen for the job. Consider it hazard pay if you wish. Make it 25,000 Nuyen or look somewhere else. 22,500 final offer. Very well, I will pass your offer on to my team. Are there any further details you can provide? Houseoffer's office will be locked behind a vault door. The lock is old-fashioned, of the mechanical variety. I will provide your team with a copy of the key. I will also supply you with a little black box, a solid-state device that your team can use to override a variety of building systems. Your team will enter through the facility's underground garage. When your team has acquired the Mark 6, have them exit through the same garage. I will have a van in there waiting to extract them. Thank you, Herr Schmidt. I will pass your offer on to my team. Good day, Herr Amsel. I will accept the job, yes. When accepted, client notification sent. You take the little black box from the desk and pocket it. Read farmer cleanup job. Here you'll find the complete transcripts of my conversation with Herr Fuchs, a potential client. The job seems to be relatively straightforward and the payout's reasonable. One word of caution before you proceed. There are aspects of this run that you might find morally troubling. Be sure to read and understand the specifics of the job before accepting. If you do accept, you will be expected to carry out the requirements of the job in full. After reading the transcript, you may choose whether or not to accept the job. If you respond in the affirmative, blah blah blah. Herr Amsel? Yes, I'm here. To whom am I speaking? You may call me Herr Fuchs. Very well. Please describe the work that you would like to have done. Straight to the point. I like that. Very well. I guess I would like to retain your team's services to clean up a mess. Go on. My employers dispatched a team of operatives to conduct a quiet operation at a local Sharing Farmer AG lab. Unfortunately, they botched the job. The team was eliminated, but we have reliable information that one of the operatives has been taken captive. If this rogue agent were to spill information leading back to my employers, it could lead to a corporate war. A great many lives would be lost. My employers would like nothing more than to prevent such a tragic turn of events. I see, and you wish to retain my team's services to tie up loose ends. Exactly. The captive operative is a rigger by the name of Thorvald Enstad. We need him neutralized before he can inform on us to his captors. As Enstad and his team have already put the facility on high alert, stealth will not be an option. Your team will need to shoot its way in, eliminate Enstad, and exit the facility. A straightforward enough task and well within my team's capabilities. What are you offering in terms of pay? 15,000. This offer is non-negotiable. Very well. I will pass the offer on to my team. Very good. Good day, Herr Amsel. Accept the job. Yes. Cool. That was the job directory. Check the status of the Alice Fund. 21 to 50. Shadowlands BBS. The relevant keywords. Transys Highlander Best New Deck. Just got one of these from a Transys Neuronet rep. Wants me to sell them in my store, so I took the puppy for a test drive. Signal quality is insane. Makes for a huge difference in comfort, decking, fatigue. I can stay jacked in for hours and feel fine. Last session I had to set a timer just so I wouldn't forget to eat. The specs on that thing look impressive, but I'm an Allegiance man. Does the comfort really make that much of a difference? My decks are generally beaters anyway. Allegiance? What are you doing with that thing? Playing video games? Any serious decking is going to require way more horsepower than that thing can push, even overclocked. Only a crappy decker blames their gear. I do just fine, thanks. How much is Transys paying you to post this shice on here? Drowning in junk messages. Oi, chummer, I could use your help. Every time I jack into the Matrix these days, I'm flooded with junk mail. There's so much of it I can't even see. Can anyone help? Great, another newbie who thinks he's on a tech support board. Hey, stuff it. I wouldn't ask, but I'm desperate. I can't deck like this. Alright, Thunder, calm down. Sounds like an ad bot is keyed into your deck. Been poking around anywhere sketchy lately? I don't need details. A simple yes or no will do. No, Bandit, I haven't been anywhere like that, I swear. Please help me. What you want to bet he gave his personal info to some scam site? I'll give you a 10 to 1 odds. No, I don't think so. All I've done was make an online dating profile. Let me guess. Meet and mate? How did you guess? That's not a real dating site, Thunder. It's a place where desperate people go to get infected with malware. But what do I do? How do I make it stop? I don't know. Buy a new deck. Best of luck. Do I have any pay data for sale? Post the Humanist Safe House list. Anything else? No. Go back. Jobs. Review notes. Cool. So I've got resolve the sewer situation is optional. Talk to Amsel is not optional though. And neither are any of those. Let's have a chat with Amsel, I guess. Wolf, welcome back. I have news for you. In your absence, I've been looking into Harfeld Manor. Whatever Fjorswing is up to, it's both large scale and well funded. I've uncovered a money trail leading from holding companies all over the world to an offshore fund with a dummy address. From there, all of that freshly laundered money flows directly into the Harfeld estate. Wait a second, why would the dragon have investors? That doesn't make sense. It's doubtful that the Firewings pawns even know where the money's going. This is typical of draconic plots. Uncover a stream of money flowing behind the scenes, and there's a fair chance you'll find a dragon at the receiving end of it. To a dragon, conspiracy is second nature. But Fjorswing was different. She didn't scheme or plot, she acted. Yes, and look where it got her. When the Firewing launched her attacks on humanity, it was an act of hubris. She lashed out because she didn't consider our species to be a threat. It would be equally hubristic for us to assume that she will make the same mistake twice. I'll continue digging into this while you and the team tackle your next run. With luck, I'll have more information to share upon your return. Sounds good, Poe. Thanks, Poe. One last thing, Wolf. Mallet was able to restore the readable surface of one of Greenwinter's DVDs. If you'd like to take a look, you'll find it sitting beside the player. Just one of them. She's still working on the others. Many of them are extensively damaged. Blah, 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 blah. Thanks, Paul. I'd like to ask about another member of the team. Okay, got a question on the Cruise Bazaar. Never mind. Okay, is this another DVD or? Yeah, just first and second DVD. Okay. And let's actually just very quickly make sure. Track 3 was garbled, right? Track 4 was garbled. Track 5 was garbled. Yeah. Let's go. Wop, 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 wop. Right, I presume nothing has changed out here. Yeah. Right, should we go and sort out the sewers for that chap? Assemble the team. Right, we'll definitely take Iga because she's a beast. Dietrich is very handy, and Glory. Fuck you, Blitz. The sewers, a ghostly labyrinth of tunnels and dead-end passageways, makes up the network of sewers beneath the Cruise Bazaar. You climb down the ladder into the shallow underworld and reel at the wave of foul smells that washes over you, clogging your sinuses and saturating your clothing. As your eyes adjust to the light, you find yourself standing at the edge of a narrow channel of murky grey-green water. The rush of churning water echoes down the tunnel. You catch a flash of motion in your peripheral vision, something man-sized, moving fast, flitting across the far end of the tunnel. You strain your eyes to see it, but to no avail. The thing, whatever it is gone. Boom, bam, bam, bam. I want to be equipped with Powerbolt 3. Wait, can I equip anything else? I guess just this. What is that? A shotty? Way better than that shotgun. But what's your shotgun? Damage 12. This is damage 14. Cap 8. I don't know what cap is. I think, is that ammo? Is that just way better than the shotgun that she's got? Wait, what does loaned mean? Does that just mean I get it back at the end of each run? Who even knows? I don't fucking know, do I? Dietrich, how are you looking? You have Nerve Bolt 2. Is there anything here that you might want? Could give him flamethrower. Glory, how about you? Anything? Nah. I already did myself. Let's go. Right, fix the water pumps. There's a body. What were my objectives in here? Locate the missing maintenance worker and fix the water pumps. Good lord, what's this? A corpse mangled beyond recognition. That's pleasant. This corpse has been eviscerated. Its limbs have been torn clean off, and its ribcage is oddly deformed. The tattered shreds of a blue maintenance uniform hang loosely off its chest. You find a well-worn manual entitled Wartungshandbuch, Ausgabe 2042. The book is filled with depictions of turbine and pump cross-sections, tools, and descriptions of maintenance procedures. A few of the pages have been bookmarked with colourful bits of paper. This page is dominated by a detailed illustration of a turbine cross-section. Scrolled in the margin is a number, 822896. There are some notes written in the margins of this page, but you don't recognize the language. The only word you can make out is computer, written several times. Awesome. How far up do you think this map goes? Shall we head in here? Okay. If we're gonna do this, let's be sensible about this. Let's get ourselves in here. Inspect whatever's in here. These metahuman bones have been picked clean. Reminds me of the train graveyard in Final Fantasy VII. I don't really know why. That like just eerie sort of feeling to it. Pump 1, access the pump status. Pump 1 has stopped. Analysis, south turbine water flow failed. The south turbine has been deactivated. Steady water flow stopped. Pump test running past. The pump is operational but not receiving full water flow from the south turbine. Error. Pump operations are being rerouted to the facility's central computer system. Pump 2. South turbine water flow failed. South turbine's been deactivated. Steady water flow failed. The pump has been clogged. Clog cannot be resolved until water flow has been restored and the pump is shut down completely, then restarted. Well, alright then. The fuck was that? What in the shit are you? Ghouls? You have conveniently lined up. Can I make you both explode, please? What do you want to do? What do you want to do? You can also make both of them. Explode, please. Then we'll get you all up in this one's face. And finally, Glory, get your claws out, girl. He's asleep. How are you missing? Oh, he fell over. Amazing. Boop. Boop. Let's give haste onto our buddy here. You come and set yourself up down here. Nice. Missed. Come on, man. Let's get you in here and do this. Very nice. Ball lightning, because I wasn't sure if that was going to hit anybody else. Done. Perfect. Evil ghouls. Of course they were evil ghouls. Let's keep investigating before we go to the panel. Money! Give me the money. Send it to the stash. To the stash with you. Water Flow Operation Control Center. Restart pump 1. Pump is restarting. Done. South turbine has been deactivated. Pump test running. This pump is operational but not receiving full water from this. Okay, restart pump 2. Pump is deactivating. Blockage detected. Clearing obstruction. Water flow is insufficient to clear obstruction. Please make sure all turbines have been activated before walk away. Okay, am I missing something? And by am I, the answer is obviously yes. But where are these fucking turbines? Is it these? Do I need to come over here? Wait, is it this? No. Is it this that's leaking? Is that the problem? No. Is it that? Right, pump 1. What was the issue here? Pump status, pump 1 has stopped because the south turbine water flow has failed. Pump operations have been rerouted to the facility's central computer system. So that one was saying the south turbine has failed. And pump 2, because the south turbine has failed and the pump has been plugged. So pump 1, south turbine failed, pump 2 is also clogged. But where are the pumps? Am I being a moron? I think I might be. So it says the south pump. This is south, is it? Oh, here we go. How the fuck did I miss that earlier? Turbine is currently powered down. Activate the turbine. Safety lock has been engaged. Please input authorized key. I will bypass this. Safety lock disengaged. Activate the turbine. Turbine works to life. So that is the south. Oh, moguls. Hey, Bubba. Can I explode both of you? Marvelous. Iger. Are you up for just shooting the shit out? Stop missing with 70% Seriously, please. You give haste to our good friend here, because you can then also, like, and then we can get Glory to get all up in his face. Hey, where did the fourth one come from? Hey! Okay. First of all, Glory. Finish off this person, please. 73. Go on. Finish off this one. my fucking god. Why? Why do you do this to me? Glory. Glory. Why? Pa-pow! Pa-pow! Right, what are you gonna do? Maybe not that. Maybe a... Oh, 53% is not very good, is it? 56%. We'll give it a go. We'll give it another go. Okay. Let's blow you up. Right, see how we get on there. Hi! I didn't mean to run then, but fuck, it is what it is, isn't it? What is... Right, what are these? A slash followed up by a kick. Do it. Are you fucking serious, Glory? Can you fucking hit anything? That was probably my fault. Grrr. Oh, yay! Right, pump's been restarted, correct? Correct. So now if I go pump status, pump stopped, south turbine water flow passed, restart the pump. Okay, that just wants me to restart the pump there, and what about here? Pump status, passed, failed, pump has been clogged, clog cannot be resolved until the pump system has been shut down and restarted. Okay. So they both just need to be restarted, I'm guessing from this computer now. Restart pump 1. Pump is restarting. Done. Operational. Restart pump 2. Blockage detected. Clearing. Done. Blah blah blah. Running diagnostic success. Done. Oh, hello. A shambling mound of ragged flesh stumbles towards you. There is a look of desperation in its eyes. Please don't shoot. The ghoul's breath reeks of rotting meat. We're not like the others. Relax, I'm not going to hurt you. The ghoul's voice comes out in a rasping sob. Thank you, stranger. Considering my condition, I had all but given up hope. Who are you? I speak for the Cruz Bazaar's ghoul population. The Krieger strain may have ravaged my body. It feebly paws at the grey, pustulant flesh that hangs for its bones, but I have retained my mind. Krieger strain? It nods. Of HMHVV, the virus that has infected us, that has twisted us into this. We're not monsters, sir. We're people with an illness, incurable for now, and yet some of us cling to hope. You may think of us as lepers if you wish. Okay? We've lived down here, under the Cruz Bazaar for years. For all that time, this place has provided refuge from the world above. We traded our labour for sustenance, both for ourselves and for our feral brothers, and we survived. But now our food supply has been interrupted, and the feral ones have gone mad with hunger. They're a danger to everybody, even us. You worked for food? Who was feeding you? The doctor, a topsider from your cruise bazaar. He kept us fed. The contract guaranteed it. Under the terms of our deal, we maintained the pumps that keep the cruise bazaar sewage flowing. In return, the doctor gave us medical waste to eat. With proper rationing, we found that we could get by on what he gave us. The Decker monitored both sides to ensure our mutual cooperation. But with her death, the doctor has reneged on the deal. Without the food guaranteed by the contract, the feral ones have gone mad, and in their madness, they have made it too dangerous for us to maintain the pumps. Was this Decker named Monica by any chance? Yes, that was her name. And by doctor you mean Dr. Esquibel. Yes, his contributions kept our community alive, helped us thrive. But now that the Decker's gone, he has demanded payment for our feedings. We have no money, but he does not care. He tells us that we must find some, or that he will let us starve. So you were the reason why the sewer system took care of itself? Yes, in truth, we would still work on the pumps, even without the doctor's payments. We love our occupation. It helps us to feel human. But the changes wrought by the Krieger strain require us to eat human flesh. If we don't, we wither and die. Without regular feedings, we have no choice but to hunt for our food. I think I've got a solution to your problem. Its milky eyes widen. Its milky eyes widen. Yes, please, whatever you can do. Our situation's desperate. I'm gonna have a little talk with Dr. Esquibel. The ghoul nods. Yes, perhaps you can convince him where we could not. We have a comlink provided to us by the Decker. It's a direct line to Esquibel's office. If you call him, he will answer. Okie coke. You're back. I still need to talk to Esquibel. I just want to have a... I want to have a little wander around here. Hello. Hello, ghouly friends. Now this game reminds me of Fallout. Boop. You pick up the comlink receiver. It's a custom job, cobbled together from a jumble of high-end parts. It reminds you of your mission computer, Monica's handiwork. There's a series of staccato clicks as the connection is made. Dr. Esquibel's voice pours into your ear. It's thick with a blend of irritation and insolence. If you're calling me to beg again, you might as well be hanging up now. I've been bled by you people for far too long. There are plenty of chop shops and organ leggers out there who'd pay good money for... you're not talking to a ghoul, Doc, and I don't beg. Wolf? Esquibel tries to hide the surprise in his voice. He doesn't do a very good job. What are you doing on this line, my friend? I've just had a very interesting conversation with some of your long-term customers. I don't know what those things have told you, Wolf, but they are not customers. They've never paid me a thing for my services, and... cut the shit, Doc. We both know that they've been what they've been doing for the Cruise Bazaar. Yes, for the Cruise Bazaar, not for me. Why should I continue to give them valuable material for free when... I'll make this easy for you. If you don't feed these ghouls, I'm going to feed you to them. Esquibel's voice goes ice cold. It's never a good idea to threaten your doctor, Wolf. You never know what might happen the next time you're lying on the operating table. If anything happened to me on your table, the rest of my team would come looking for you. Ah yes, there is that. There's a long pause. Finally, you hear a sigh. When Esquibel speaks again, his voice heavy with resignation. Tell your friends that I've changed my mind. Their feeding will resume directly, at no additional cost. There is a click as he disconnects the line. Hee hee. You're back. I've spoken with Esquibel. You can expect your regularly scheduled feedings to start up again any day now. Thank you so much, Topsider. This means more to us than you can know. Yeah, I'm such a good guy. I'm a nice guy. Even after your people fucking attacked me. You assholes. fresh air of the cruise bazaar is a welcome relief after your time in the sewers. A cool breeze drifts across the street, carrying with it the smells of food being prepared, cheap alcohol being poured, and fires being lit against the cold. The stench of the sewers, however, still lingers in your nose, a bad olfactory aftertaste. At least the pumps are working again. Sewage overflowing into the streets would certainly smell far worse. Maintenance worker. Hello. Drek, finally. I was worried that you wouldn't come back either. So what happened? It's taken care of. You can leave after you give me my money. What about Victor? Your friend isn't coming. I'm sorry. Christ, poor Vic. I don't know how I'm going to tell his folks. Real close-knit family they were. Found this on his body. Maybe you could give it to them. Hey, thanks. He turns over the manual in his hands, rubs his thumb over the careworn paper cover. They'll appreciate it. Here's the money I promised you. Why, thank you, Mr. Maintenance Worker. I says thanks again for helping me out. It was bloody lovely of you, that, wasn't it? Right, we've got some upgrades. Frag boost or flashbang. 2 AP damage, makes them easier to hit. Does 4 HP. God no. Fucking flashbang, obviously. What are you? Augmented vision. Blitz's basic cyber eyes are upgraded to a deluxe model. Increases accuracy by 3%. Okay. Glory. Premium mode kit, which heals a minimum of 30. Trauma kit, which brings back a downed character. Let's give her the upgraded heal. Yeah. And Dietrich, what are you doing? He now carries an earth or a fire. Earth, fire, earth, fire. Let's go earth, because I've got a lot of fire attacks. Yeah. Okay, good. Well done, everybody. What are we doing now? We've got raise 50,000. We've got meet Gunari about a missing shipment. We've got the Pharma Lab complex. Let's go talk to the doctor first. Let's just see if he actually mentions anything. Just because I'm curious more than anything. Hello, Doctor. Welcome back. What can I do for you? I hope that our recent misunderstanding won't have an impact on our ongoing business relationship. Misunderstanding, Wolf? I'm sure I don't know what you're talking about. Should just be really stupid. Well, there were these feral ghouls in the sewers that were eating people because you stopped feeding them medical waste, and his eyes wide, his voice exploded. Shut up, damn you! Do you want to get us both killed? On second thought, don't answer that. Don't say anything at all. Here's the deal. You keep your mouth shut and we'll just pretend that none of what happened ever happened. Deal? Okay. Good. Let's move on. Okay. Thanks, Doctor. That was so funny. Uno momento, compadres. Right, let's crack on. Oh, we've got weapon deal, we've got the train station, so missing shipment of guns, something about that, something about... Right, let's talk to this guy about guns first, why not? Since we're right here. Got your message about that missing shipment, how can I help? He nods. Aye, a gang from a nearby Kiers has been hijacking shipments bound for the cruise bazaar, taking money out of our pockets. I could use your help to stop this from happening. Your dear departed Monica used to provide encryption and information control for the cruise bazaar. Now that she's gone, we merchants have been having no end of trouble. The obvious answer is that a gang has been intercepting our communications. What kind of communications? Shipping manifests, payment orders, that kind of thing. A group with an agenda could use that information to set an ambush, and that's just what this gang has been doing. Several cargo trucks full of goods have already been hijacked en route to the cruise bazaar. I had a tracking device placed on the last shipment that I sent out. Containers full of weapons and medical supplies, sure enough it got taken, and I've tracked it to Gesundbrunnen. If you've never been there, it's a Kiers built out of an old U-Bahn station and some old bunkers. Rumour has it, a new gang called the Rabengeister is holed up there. I suspect that the two things are related. So I need you to go to Gerensbrunnen. I can offer you 500 Nuyen. If you can recover our missing weapon shipment, I'll be able to sell you some better hardware too. Perfect. Can you tell me anything about this gang? Not much, I'm afraid. From what I've heard, the Rabengeister are tricky. They have a reputation for stirring up trouble, then disappearing without a trace. I would tread carefully in the Gerensbrunnen if I were you. How do I get to it? Take the U-Bahn. The line still runs, though not many folks stop at Gesundbrunnen anymore. The market there used to be something of a tourist attraction, but I think they've fallen on hard times recently. I'll take care of it. Good! One more thing, Wolf. I'm gonna need you to go in light on this one. Take a friend along if you like, but no more than one. If you spook them, they could trash the merchandise. Best go quiet. Best go soon too, before the trail goes cold. Only one? One person? Okie coke. Ah, right, where should we go? Travel to the Gesundbrunnen. Yeah. So only take one person, they said. As much as I like you, Glory, you miss fucking constantly. Maybe we'll take Iger. It's a short train ride to the Gessenbrunnen. You exit the subway car, stepping into the old, grungy platform. The place is deserted, though signs of life are everywhere. A gaping hole in the ceiling filters cool, hazy light in from above. To your right, a small plot of crops struggles to endure in the cold and the limited light of the station. Trash and junk litters the platform. It's clear this place hasn't had anything resembling a janitorial staff in quite some time. Somewhere in this old rundown U-Bahn station lies the entrance of the Gessenbrunnen Kiers, and hopefully some leads on the whereabouts of the Rabengeister and Gunnari's missing shipment. Have you just automatically upgraded your gun now? Because that's not what I gave you. What's that? A trauma kit. Go on, we'll give you that trauma kit. Just in case. Just in case. The old fluorescent grow lights are barely keeping the plants alive. They disappear so quickly, those messages. Stairwell down looks to have completely collapsed. Okay. There's nothing else around here, I'm guessing. Come on, trolley, trolley, trolley. Hi, guard. That's far enough, friend. An older man raises his hand, squinting as you approach. To his left, a young orc shifts his weight, resting one hand casually on a pistol at his hip. Both are dressed in what might be considered uniforms, but it's hard to tell for sure. We don't get many visitors down here these days, and you'll forgive me for saying, but, well, you don't really look the type that usually comes through here. He looks fed, for one thing. The older man snorts. Indeed, so what brings you to Gessenbrunnen, stranger? I'm visiting from the Rhine-Ruhr megaplex, and my friend Hans said the market here is second to none. I had to come see for myself. The older man smiles sadly. Well, maybe a few years ago that was true. These days, well, it's hard times all around, I suppose. But you're welcome to go on in, of course. Customers are always welcome. Oh, and talk to Quarren if you want to hear some good stories about the market. Back in his prime, he was always happy to share a tale or two. Watch your step on the ladder there. Some of the steps get slippery when cold. Have you heard anything about a gang hiding out around here? A group calling themselves the Rabengeister? A gang, eh? The man looks over at his partner, then back at you warily. After a few moments, he steps slowly back in front of the entrance. No, we keep security pretty tight around here. If a gang like that was running stuff through here, we'd know about it. Now look, we don't want any trouble around here. On second thought, maybe you should just move along and catch the next train back. Come to think of it, the market's closing pretty soon anyway. The last thing I want is to cause any more trouble. You look like you have to deal with more than enough of that. Do you mind if I just take a quick look around? The guards exchange glances again. After a moment, the old man steps aside. Well, alright, I suppose there's no harm in that. Just watch yourself, okay? If you cause a scene looking for this gang of yours, there's more to our little militia here than you want to mess with. Okay, thank you. Come on, Igar. This is Quarren, who I think was the person he said to speak to. The man before you is of average build and in nondescript dress. He's leaning against the old wooden cabinet, reading a book. As you approach, he looks up and casts a warm smile in your direction. Guten Tag, the name's Quarren, friend. Can't say I've seen you around these parts before. Just passing through, or...? What can you tell me about this place? Gessenbrunnen. Well, it's my home for one, and we've got a small bar set up over there. But of course, you'll want to know about the markets. It used to be something to behold, my friend. One of the grandest markets in the city. You could find nearly anything in these stalls, for the right price. It's a real shame, but little by little, things slowed down. Folks stopped taking this subway line so much. but I guess that's the way of the flux. Had any recent weapons shipments pass through here recently? His face falls. Wish that I had, friend. It's too bad. This place used to be soaring with commerce. But now hardly anything passes through here, I'm afraid. Folks around here are lucky enough to have a full meal at the end of the day. Tough times, I suppose. Indeed they are. Do you need anything else? Do I want to ask him? People get really nervous when I talk about these guys. But fuck it. I'm looking for the Dragonfall blah blah. Certainly, they've been spinning quite a tale in these parts of late. Hard to know anything for sure though. One rumour says they hijacked freight out of Frankfurt to Tor. Then the next day, you hear about a sighting down in Alexanderplatz. Hell, just yesterday I heard someone claim they saw a member of the Rabengeist speed by in a U-Bahn tunnel, clinging to the side of a train car. Ha! He leans closer. Between you and me, that's probably a gang called Surf Turf. Strange ones, those. I heard they implant suction cups on their hands and feet. I guess they really like hitching rides on the U-Bahn trains. He shakes his head with amusement. That's the flux state for you, though. Full of strange and unexpected. Okay, bye. Drawers look to be handmade out of rusty sheet metal. Nothing catches your eye. The woman starts a little at your approach, but she recovers quickly and beams brightly at you. The fox face on her headdress seems to grin as well. Her classically nasal American accent is obvious. Hey kiddo, share a drink with me? Sure, if you're buying. Awesome. Unfortunately, there aren't a lot of options here. They've got beer, homebrewed gin, and schnapps. Pick your poison. I've been drinking gin and tonics. The tonic cuts out some of the gas flavour. I think they've been distilling it in old propane tanks. Yuck. If that's the case, then I'll pass. So yourself, dude. So what were you hoping to find down here? Robin Hood? The Rabengeister, actually. Raven ghosts? Might be anything in Gessenbrunnen. Seems like everyone and everything down here is a ghost. Ghosts of the past, ghost trains, ghostly thin folk, pale for lack of sunlight. I need sunlight too. I like to joke I photosynthesize, but it just gives me so much energy. Energy these people don't have anymore. Her expression grows stern for a moment as she stares into her empty gin and tonic. Maybe I've been down here long enough. Maybe I'm a ghost too. Alright, that's it, Fraulein. You're officially cut off. Your total is 36 Nguyen. Can I at least buy something for my friend here? He's been talking with me a bit and hasn't had anything. No, you're cut off. I don't want you even sipping out of it. Dude, chill, forget I asked. She turns to you with a shrug. Sorry I couldn't get you anything else, but thanks for being a pal. Wait, what? What? Maybe I just wasn't paying attention to that conversation, but why was she cut off? Smells like something died in here. A dead end? Yeah. Yeah, it is. So there's a ladder over here I guess I can inspect, but I don't know if it's one that I can climb up. Surface access has been welded shut, probably an attempt to keep security tight. Okay. Right, odd merchant. You're a merchant, so you'll probably tell me shit, right? Hello there, newcomer. I have many exciting and rare weapons for you to peruse. Instruments of death, of the sort that you'll not find anywhere else in Berlin. Care to take a look around? Despite the shopkeeper's claims, her inventory looks decidedly poor. Most of these weapons appear rusty and in ill repair. A particularly cobbled together pistol stands out from the bunch. Sure. Your stock is shit. See anything you like? What's up with that shoddy looking pistol? Exquisite, is it not? The work of a master craftsman who used to live here. Forged some of the finest slug throwers you'll find this side of the Atlantic. And at that price, a steal. It looks like some of those parts are hot glued together. As I said, the work of a master craftsman. A weapon made by any other would simply break apart after being fired. There's not much here that would interest me. Well, it's been lean pickings lately around these parts, and on top of that, there's the militia. They need most of the best pieces to help keep us safe. Still, I've got some reliable weapons for home defense. That was garbage. Hi there, stranger. I've got a sale on today. You interested in some rations, salvage, homemade remedies? Seen any shipments of weapons passing through here recently? Troll's eyes flicker back and forth. I don't know anything about weapons. I just saw scraps of salvage and home remedies. Home remedies, eh? Those are some pretty fancy home remedies. You point to some mil-spec medkits and drugs in the corner of the man's shop. The troll looks around nervously. Well, sometimes I get lucky salvage. Looking for some backup? It's just us here, friend. Okay, look. Yeah, the Rabengeister came by yesterday. Asked me to move the rest of these medical supplies. Then they disappeared. I don't know where they went. I mean, hey, I gotta make a living, right? Look around here. They leave me this kind of score. I'm grateful. Already sold most of it in less than a day. Plenty of folks around here in need of real medical supplies. Alright, I've told you what I know, so we're cool, right? I don't know anything else. I know how this works, friend. They drop off the shipment, you move the goods, then you meet somewhere to hand over the take. Tell me where to find them. Okay, fine. I meet them at the information kiosk on the far side of the market. That's where they appear. I don't know how they get there, though, I swear. They don't use the front entrance, I know that much. No, I'm not gonna take it out on him. Thanks for your help, I'll check it out. You just got some shit. See you around. This crate appears to have been pried hastily open. There's a partially torn shipping label. Most of the ink has been worn off. Something. Wait, what did it say? Most of the ink's been worn off, but the word Crisp Bazaar is still clearly visible. Like, it's not his fault. I don't blame him. Hello, Militia Captain. The Militia Captain stands at alert, her eyes tracking slowly across the market before coming to rest on you. Guten Tag. You look like you keep a close eye on this Kiers. Have you seen a shipment of weapons pass through here recently? No, I would have noticed that. I'm looking for a gang called Rabengeister. Heard of them? No. She frowned slightly, and I would suggest asking questions about such things. I wouldn't suggest asking questions about such things around here. Okay, well, you were incredibly helpful. Thank you very much. The area is in extreme disrepair. Water's flooding out the walls and stagnating in pools from the tile floor. You can smell something. These crates don't seem to be part of the shipment that was en route for the Cruise Bazaar. You notice a set of scuff marks on the ground, as if something heavy was dragged across here. The marks vanish into the wall. Let's use this terminal first. This appears to be an old U-Bahn information terminal. Judging by the system's design and current condition, it's quite old. As you approach, the machine makes a series of sputtering sounds as the dust-covered screen flickers dimly to light. Time since last update. What's that? 52 years, 7 days, 11 hours, 5 minutes, 22 seconds. Primary database not found, restarting in offline mode, restarting. The screen goes dark as the machine begins to emit a bizarre variety of clicking and chirping sounds. After an interminable amount of time, the screen finally shudders back to life. Welcome to Gezenbrunnen Station. Please select an option from the below menu. Station history. Gessenbrunnen Station opened in April 18th, 1930 as the final stop along the U-Bahn's U8 line. It was designed by prominent U-Bahn architect Alfred Grenander. Construction on the U8 line began in 1914 under Allgemeine Electricity, but labour shortages and the First World War put the project on hold for over a decade. The eventual completion and opening of this home line between Neukölln and Gessenbrunnen in 1930 represented a major step forward in connecting Berlin's working-class districts to the city centre. During World War II, many unfinished tunnels and stations along the U8 line were converted into raid shelters, including parts of Gessenbrunnen Station. In the decades following the war, the station also served as an emergency fallout shelter in the event of a nuclear attack. During the Cold War, the U8 line continued to run between Neukölln and Gessenbrunnen, taking it under the wall and through parts of East Berlin. The train would skip all East Berlin stations until it emerged on the far side, near Gessenbrunnen. Today, the U8 line continues to operate, carrying thousands of passengers through Gessenbrunnen station on a daily basis. In addition, the former bunker at this location has been transformed into a popular museum exhibit showcasing the history and development of Berlin's underworld. Route information. You press the 4 key, only to realise that the key is missing from the keyboard. A thick layer of grime and dust rests in its place. Okay, customer query. Please enter your customer query. The system will attempt to match your query. What were they called? Somewhere in this old rundown entrance, hopefully. Rabengeister. Rabengeister. Okay, fine. Okay, fine. Okay, let's go. Inspect the nearby wall more closely. You find a small seam in the wall that suggests there might be a passageway hidden in the wall here, but you can spot no clear mechanism for opening it. Maybe we should ask around. This looks like the place, so I'm sure someone might spill the beans. Just punch the wall open. It takes some doing, but you manage to force open the false wall. The hinges give way with a scrape and a crunch, and the passage behind is revealed. Ho ho ho. Hello. This is the same man you met in the market, but the friendliness is gone from his face. In its place is a cold, unwavering gaze. Quarren, I knew it. I knew I was like, I should talk to this guy. You should have stuck to the market, stranger. If the Rabengeister wished to be found, we'd open a fucking cafe. Now what do you want of us? Say your piece. I don't know, look like an invitation to me. If you really don't want to be found, you might want to hide your tracks a little better. He stares you down for a long moment, then breaks into a chuckle. Aye, I'll grant you we've been a little careless. I guess we figured with Monica Schaefer out of the picture, the cruise bazaar would be an easy score. That's why you're here, right? We stole your supplies, now you want them back? That's about right. Which I completely understand, stranger, believe me. But unfortunately, We need those supplies more than you do, so I'll have to graciously decline your offer to relieve us of your property. I can see things are hard around here, Quarren, but I have to look out for my own Kiers, and that shipment belongs to us, not from where I'm standing. Look, there's no need for bloodshed. I'll tell you what. It seems like you know what it's like to look out for a Kiers like this. It's not easy, right? We provide for these people. A haul like that shipment keeps Gessenbrunnen from going hungry just a little while longer. It's our home. These are our people. I suspect you feel the same about the cruise bazaar. So I'm prepared to let you leave, just like that, knowing a little secret here and everything. In return, all you need to do is walk away. Just walk away and forget this ever happened. Quarren smiles. What do you think, stranger? I think in the Flux, folks like us need to stick together. Why stay strangers? Maybe we can come to an arrangement that can benefit both our Kiers. I'm listening. In the cruise bazaar, my friend Altug has a series of data taps established to monitor nearby communications. You return our shipment, we let you listen in on those taps. I see. That's an interesting offer, friend. That would certainly let us scope out some more lucrative heists around here, assuming these taps are reliable. They are. I checked them just the other day. He pauses for a long moment, then cracks a smile. Very well. I suppose that's worth the price of a crate of guns? Your medical supplies are already mostly gone, I'm afraid, but the weapons shipment is still being held in a locker at Frankfurter Tor. I'll have it sent back to the cruise bazaar immediately. And you'll let us in on those data taps? Take the tunnel to the cruise bazaar and talk to Altug. He runs a small cafe not far from the U-Bahn station. Tell him I sent you and he'll set you up. Well, well. Quarren looks thoughtful. Maybe things are looking up around here. I suppose friends and enemies both can be found in strange ways here in the Flux. Glad we could have this talk, Quarren. I'll be going now. You can see yourself out. Take care, stranger. I got an achievement for not killing people. Yay for me! They're all empty. Just full of old SimSense recordings. I'm just having a little wonder. I can't get in there. Hey, want a beer? Okay. Hand you an icy beer from the crate. Drink the beer. Does that do anything? Doopity boop boop boo. Hello. Guten Tag. Right, I suppose we just fuck off then. That was a nice simple mission. I wonder if we start a firefight in there, all these people start attacking us as well. Is sort of the feeling that I'm getting. Luckily, I'm a good guy. I'm a good guy. You emerge from the U-Bahn station out into the familiar streets of the cruise bazaar. The energy here is a stark contrast to the wary, slowly drowning mood of Gessenbrunnen. The Cruiseberg is an island of hope, afloat still amidst the dangerous currents of the Flux state. But it wouldn't take much for it to capsize. It's time to find Gunari and tell him the news. Awesome. How is Alexander doing? He's adjusting, with difficulty. Sam shakes his head. Your friend Dietrich took a chance in sending his nephew to us. I will do my best to justify his faith in me. How is Soap doing? I'd like to talk about your organization. Are you accepting donations? No, I'm still spending all of your previous money. Amazing. Even from a distance, it's clear something's not right with Lane. Coming closer, you can see dried blood on his face and clothing, as well as a few discoloured blotches that pass for bruises on Troll's skin. More noticeably, there is a considerable damage to the man's left prosthetic leg, which he now tends to with tools and as antiquated as the leg itself. You alright, Alexei? I'm fine. Nothing a few swings of a wrench can't fix, or a few swings of a crutch. Someone comes at me, thinks me weak, and I show him otherwise. Leaning to the side, Lane's crutch is caked in more blood and what appears to be bits of hair. Tell me who did this. Just a punk with some bad ideas. Forget about it. Are you sure you're alright? I've suffered far worse, as you might imagine, and I don't need you or anyone else babying me. Okay. I'm sorry. I just wanted to make sure that yous were okay. Talk to her, you fool. Simmy Kim leans against a wall, her head downcast and her face lost in shadow. Sensing your presence, she looks up, revealing a black eye poorly covered by concealer. She's smiling at you. Hi, Wolf. How are you? Who gave you the shiner? I don't know what you're talking about. Did you want something? Because I've got things to do. You know, Zack says he has a new sim for me. One with aliens and a little girl I need to save. She's waiting for me, and I can't let her down. There's something going on around here. There's always something going on. It's the flux, right? It gives, it takes. Sometimes it takes more than it gives. And some things it takes are gone forever. Friends that disappear, family that dies, people like Monica. I don't much like the flux. In The Sims, you can have the same happy day over and over. You just skip past the parts you don't like, or replay the good moments as many times as you want. I can't think of any parts of real life I'd want to play over, and plenty of parts I wish I could skip. How did you end up here? I don't know. I was living on the street since I was a kid. Had no family, no home. I got mixed up with some bad people, and I had a bad day. Ended up owing them money. Too much money. I got beat up pretty bad. Needed a doctor, but couldn't pay for one. Then I found Doc Escobel. Or he found me. I can't really remember. He said he could help me. He gave me the money up front. But he said I had to come back for medicine every month, until it was time to pay him back. And I did. I took the medicine just like he said. I really don't want to talk about this anymore, okay? You're blah, fancy seeing you again. I was hoping you'd want to chat. Oh, she takes a drag on a cigarette. Well, colour me intrigued. What did you want to talk about? Been finding much work recently? Yeah, the Cruise Bazaar isn't the best place to do it. There aren't a ton of jobs out here if you don't have a network. You don't have people in the Cruise Bazaar? Nope, my crew is in MIT. There's lots of work out there if you can handle it, but life isn't as pleasant there as it is in the Cruise Bazaar. She gestures with a cigarette, the tip glowing red in the gloom. I mostly visit your lovely little Kias between runs to restock and relax. It's a good place for that, nice and slow-paced. It's... She pauses for a moment to search for a word. Quaint. Don't suppose you'd be interested in taking a permanent position on my team? Don't suppose I would. Like I said, I've got a team of my own. Good people who have earned my loyalty 100 times over. I can do a little moonlighting here and there, but they wouldn't take it kindly if I up and bailed on them. She takes another sip of scotch. Better that it stay like this. If you need me for a run, I'm available. You just need to pay me first. Keeps things clean and simple. Bartender here any good? Nope. It's called the Wine Keller for a reason. The guy behind the bar is more a Bush League sommelier than he is a proper bartender. Knows a bit about wine, but when it comes to mixing drinks he's useless. If you want a drink, I'd recommend sticking to something simple. Try ordering anything with more than 2 ingredients and you're asking for trouble. So you're a wine drinker then? Me? No. Never developed a taste for it. She tilts a glass, swirling the amber liquid inside. I'm not a big fan of sweet things. Never have been. Not even when I was a kid. I've always preferred smoke. If you don't like wine, why hang out in a wine bar? Because it's usually empty in here, and I don't like to be bothered. And as hopeless as the bartender is, it's tough to mess up a scotch if you order it neat. Now, do you have another question, or...? No. I don't. Thanks for talking to me. Don't mean to be rude, but this is my off time. I intend to spend it smoking and drinking myself into a stupor, not talking. If you want to chat, we'll chat. For now, give me some breathing room. Bum 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 bum. Bow chicka bow chicka bow chicka bow bow. Hvor skal vi gå? Hvor skal vi gå? Actually, should we go check out that payphone? If there's anything to do with the payphone? Nada. And if there's nothing to do on the payphone, we'll just come and talk to this guy, I guess. Welcome back. I took care of the business with the Rabengeister. They won't be hijacking our shipments anymore. A faint smile plays across the normally taciturn merchant's face. Yes, this much I know already. The missing shipment arrived just before you did, though I barely caught a glimpse of those who delivered it. How were you able to manage that? I made an arrangement and they agreed to return the weapons. And you have accomplished all of this through diplomacy. Interesting. It is... well, it's not what I would have done, but perhaps that is for the best. Here is your payment as promised, and should you need any new weapons, thanks to you, I have some new merchandise available. Yeah, show me what you got. Show me what you got. There's so much. I don't know what I want. Fuck all, really. I use magic. Okay. Who else did we talk to? There's the little street kid, isn't there? Is she around? Yeah, her, Cammy. Well busy right now. Okay. And there was the person in here. As you approach the counter, you find Absinthe counting a bundle of antique paper money in the till. She doesn't bother looking up. Wolf, hold a moment. I'll call Algernon for you. She pauses, squinting at you. Her mouth dips into a frown. Curious. When I look at you, I see red. Red? She nods, and the frown slowly falls off her face. Her voice becomes dreamy. Red splattered like paint across great metal arms. Small rooms drenched in it, with droplets oozing down from the ceiling. She offers you a cautious smile. Pretty. Another prophecy. The last prediction that you made came true. How did you do that? You're confused. I didn't do anything. I merely related what I saw. She blinks, then looks away. What I shared with you, it was an observation, nothing more. I'm going to buy some magic. Then talk to Algernon. Yeah, you got anything else, chummer? Hello again. Got a question. And that question is, let me see what you're selling. Okie doke, off we go. Off we poddle. Talk to this guy, see if he wants to talk about me letting people use his taps. Who's this? So you're Wolf, huh? The late Monica Schaefer's replacement. He looks you up and down, then nods. Good, you look the part. Let me get right to business. My organization would like to retain your services for the indefinite future. But first, we're asking you to go on a trial run, an audition of sorts, to prove that you're the right man for the job. Assuming that you complete this trial to our satisfaction, I will then offer you a variety of simple tasks. All of these should be achievable in the course of your everyday business. You won't need to go out of your way or expose yourself to much unnecessary risk. For each task that you complete, you will be rewarded handsomely, and there will be a bonus if you finish them all. So, have I piqued your interest? Will you accept our offer? Who do you work for, and how do you know where to find me? My organization knows everything worth knowing in Germany, including this small pond that is Berlin. It is our best interests, however, to remain unknown to the world at large. For the time being, that is all you need to know. What are you going to pay me? Bitch. I can offer you 1,500 Nguyen, but only if you complete the full audition, the run and post-run interview to our satisfaction. If you fail to perform up to our expectations, you will receive no pay and no further offers of work. That isn't much. It's an audition. The purpose of this trial is for you to prove your worth to us, not the other way around. Of course, you're free to decline if you wish, but know that there are hundreds of runners in Berlin who would kill for the opportunity to work for us. We came to you because we think we see a glimmer of potential. If you prove us wrong, we will happily take the offer elsewhere. Okie doke. Good. Very good. Now onto the task at hand. There is a man named Aylshire. He's a senior manager at Hermes Eurocom, and a respected figure in his community. My organization also suspects him of working with pro-corporate extremists. These people are actively working to undermine the Flux state and pave the way for a corporate-controlled Berlin. My organization has no more desire to see Berlin fall to the corporations than you do, however. However, we are hesitant to act on our suspicions without proof. This is where you come in. Keep talking. You will meet with a team that I've arranged for you, and with their assistance, you will plant surveillance devices in his apartment. Take the U-Bahn to Frankfurter Tor and go alone. The rest of your team will meet you there. I already have a team. Yes, you do, but they are unsuitable for this job. Remember, this is a test of your abilities, not Iger's or Glory's or Dietrich's. How do you know their names? The same way that I knew yours. You will complete this trial with the team that I have assembled, or not at all. It's important for us to know that you're willing to work within these limitations. So, will you work within the boundaries that I've described, or will you turn down the opportunity that your fellow runners would kill for? Okay. Very good. The moment that you board the train for Frankfurter Tor, your test will begin. I would advise you to bring what you need in terms of medical supplies and ordnance. Once you embark on your trial run, there will be no turning back. After you have planted the devices and verified that they work, please come back to me. There will be a brief interview, a post-mortem on the run if you like, and, assuming that I'm satisfied with what I hear, I will pay your first stipend. Then we will discuss our future options. Best of luck, Wolf. We will be watching. Alright, thanks Mr. Luke, appreciate that. You have an audition to attend, Wolf. You'll want to get to it. So that's a new optional, right? Optional, take the U-Bahn, yeah. Okay. Hello, Squire. Altug, I sent a man named Quarren to talk to you. I told him he could have access to your data taps. Burgazi raises an eyebrow. You did you? A bit presumptuous of you, is it not? Quarren and his gang have been hijacking shipments bound for the cruise bazaar, so we made an arrangement. He listens to your taps, they leave our goods alone and steal from our enemies instead. Everybody wins. I see. Well, that sounds like a tidy little arrangement you've made then, Ephedim. The kind of arrangement I might make myself, he laughs. The kind of arrangement Monica might have made. I will honour your promise then. Quarren and his gang shall have the access to my data taps, save for those that listen in on the cruise bazaar itself. Ah, not that such taps exist, mind you. No, of course not. Cool. I just wanted to check up on him, let him know that I'd done it. You got anything more to say? What can I do for you? Blah blah blah. Bullshit bullshit. Blah 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 blah. Right, should we see if our compatriots have anything to say? Any thoughts on the last run? Nothing we haven't already talked about. Hello Dante, I'll give you a little scratch on. Play dead. He doesn't know that one. Sit. He sits. Pet him. Nothing more to say. It isn't the best time. Got a job to prepare for. You can all fuck off. You didn't come on the last one. And the next job that I've got to do is on my own. What time is it? Nearly 10:30. Probably a good time to call it quits here. Thanks for watching, guys. I will probably stream later on as well. We'll see. But for now, I'm gonna go get some breakfast. Not sure what time I'll be streaming later, but it will be at some point because we got to carry on finding out about Feuerschwing, the Fire Wing, and just what this plot and intrigue means for me and my team. I will catch you later. Thanks for watching, guys. Good. Bye.